Yeah, well, welcome back to the channel, sir. It's been a few days. Thank you for subscribing to all the new subscribers. Really appreciate it. I want to talk about what I'm sort of seeing as a change of sentiment in New Zealand at the moment. Uh, the Reserve Bank hiked rates, as I talked about, 0.75%. And it's talking about another at least 0.5% in February. And where they sort of go, is when they start saying, they're talking about peaks, inflation peaking, or interest rates peaking, or this is as far as we're going to need to go. But this is the same rhetoric as inflation is transitory. Now, one of the questions that was asked to our chairman of the Reserve Bank was, are you deliberately trying to engineer a recession? And he replied, well, yeah, basically. And I thought it was a bit rich coming from him, how he said, he made a comment about, well, maybe people could actually start saving money instead of spending it. I know that's a foreign concept. And yeah, okay, people do waste money. They do. And yeah, people spend more than they earn, and people don't tend to budget their money. Yes, I agree. However, he's the one who's overinflated the currency. So it's a bit rich. Like, how many people were saving money, and because out of, the poor have been hammered. They've been absolutely hammered. The middle class has been hammered. And even the upper middle, or even someone who could have been considered well off, are possibly in a very bad position, because you imagine having, a $1.6 million mortgage, and you spent that on a house thinking you're investing money because it's only going to go up, right? Now it's gone down in value. Now it would take you a long time to sell it. And then on top of that, you've now, I didn't realize I was going to have to pay 7, 8, whatever percent, 6% at least on this mortgage, 3 times more interest than what I was paying. And not only that, the cost of living's gone up. Well, they say 7 point something percent, but we all know it's more than that. You've got a fuel tax coming in next year, which I've talked about, of 25 cents a litre. So it's just like one more thing. And when that 25 cents a litre comes back in, it's going to be more inflation. So I thought it was really rich that the people are getting blamed for their stuff up. They printed the money. They're talking about saving money. Well, what do you think printing and spending all that money was going to do? So not only that, then you've got what did he say? He said, like, and I don't get this, because they do say if people start, baking in inflation, like they're always expecting more and more inflation, apparently that's somehow inflationary. And I guess that's a better bite now before the price goes up. But he was saying that, what you could do to help is stop thinking there's going to be inflation. It's like, yeah, okay, dude. But again, what else did he say? The sentiment, he's engineering a recession. People are hearing the R word, and they're saying, wow, things aren't as good as what we thought. And they've realised that the bill is due. The money that we got to sit at home for 6 weeks. I mean, our largest city, Auckland, was locked down for, I think, 3 months. 3 months in the last lockdown, because they said, we have to get to basically 100% vaccination or we can't unlock Auckland. People were dying from depression. Mental health was spiraling out of control. It was hard. You were stuck at home for 3 months, and yeah, okay, stuck at home, and if you've got people that you're friends with at your house or a good situation at home, but if you've got 2 children and they can't go to daycare anymore, and for Omicron, like we all got Omicron, wasn't that we didn't need to lock down our biggest city for 3 months, and the rest of New Zealand was locked down for at least a couple of weeks, I think. But we also had 3 or 4 lockdowns. 6 weeks was the first one. 3 months was the last one while they were running around vaccinating. Like, it was crazy. They had something like 80% vaccinated. Oh no, we've got to get to 100. Our health system hasn't struggled with COVID. It's struggled with them firing all the workers, and then they're having no staff. And then they've said, oh yeah, we'll get rid of the restrictions, but then they leave it up to the district health boards who run the hospitals and say it's up to you whether you re-employ your unvaccinated, and they haven't been re-employed. They can't get the workers. That's what's happened. So, people are realising the bills come due for all of this. That 40% that we all thought people all thought they made in less than a year on their house, guess what? It wasn't there to stay. Like, well, hello, sunshine. Like, pretty easy to work that one out. You had real estate firms, and they're putting in the paper, property surging and there's no end in sight. And I was like, what do you mean there's no end in sight? Like, it'll stop. We're in for the biggest property crash, in my opinion, that this country has ever seen. And this is going to be global, around the world. Property prices, stock markets, property prices just cratering, interest rates surging, inflation surging. That's what I think we're going to get. So, whatever you got to do to get prepared, you need to get prepared, because this SHTF situation is going to happen, and it's going to happen fast. So they're sort of saying that be responsible with your spending over Christmas, and don't spend too much money. But we all know people either will, or they're spending it on higher priced goods, on paying more for strawberries and ham and cream and stuff, right? And what irks me is they say, oh, but don't worry, like, this recession isn't going to be bad because we're in a good position. New Zealand is in a strong position compared to all the other countries who are worse off. Well, we still got like a huge national debt, higher than we've ever had, and we've got an economy addicted to cheap money, which is being taken away. They're talking about a shallow recession. A shallow recession. Wow, that is the worst call. That is the worst call of worst calls. This is not going to be a shallow recession. This is going to be a giga depression. This is going to be massive. So the chances of a shallow recession are zero. Zero. You've seen that movie, The Big Short? Zero. There's zero chance. So here we are, and people are realising the recession. Now, there's been one firm, and it's an Australian firm that is in New Zealand as well, and that's just, they're talking about sacking, was it 200 workers or something? I have to look it up, but there's work already, the job losses. They're realising, wow, people's homes have gone down in value. People have realised that it's not as rosy as they thought. People are going to lose their jobs. People are struggling to make ends meet, and it's going to get worse. And when that happens, they're not going to spend money at our business because it's all home stuff, and they're just going to be shutting the wallets. And everyone's going to go into survival mode, man. They're going to go into don't lose their house mode. Sell the car, buy a cheaper car, but don't lose the house. Take the kids out of private schools, put them in a public school, but don't lose the house. Don't go on holiday, don't lose the house. What if one of us loses our job? We've got a $1 million mortgage, but we needed 2 jobs to make the payments. Yeah, it's not easy, and it's not a nice situation for the average person to be in, because they didn't see it coming. They just didn't. For some reason, they just bought into this false reality. And I've told you in earlier videos, in my earlier on videos, I know I've mentioned it, where I've said, one thing I learned from divorce is reality can change like that. 1 minute it can be, my house has gone up 50%, interest rates are 2%, life is great, my job's good, they're hiring more people, so there's plenty of opportunities to get work. to people are laying people off, Bob's lost his job next door, mortgagee sale down the road, house prices have gone down, can't sell my car on the market because everyone's shutting their wallets, businesses are closing down, there's no opportunity, interest rates are too high, and you've got to face that reality, just like facing a divorce, which ain't an easy process, obviously depending on your situation. Facing all that is tough. Well, so I knew that I had to sneeze just then. I knew that things can change, and when they change, it doesn't matter what happened yesterday or what your life was yesterday or what your situation was. You can go from here to here in the blink of an eye, and you just have to be. You've got to be prepared for these things, because if it's when you don't see things coming, it hurts when it happens because you're not prepared. At least with me, I've had the doom and gloom for 14 years, wondering why it hasn't happened yet. Am I wrong? Am I just crazy? Am I insane? No, I've got to be right. This can't be wrong. This is mathematical certainty. So I knew it was coming, and believe me, do I feel like I'm so prepared that I'll make it through this no problem? Nah, man, I feel so underprepared. I feel like I don't know if I'll be okay. I get anxious about thinking about how bad this crash is going to be, but you've got to man up, and you got to say, well, I hope I've done enough to weather the storm. But do I know for sure? No. So yeah, as I say, I'm very, very much thinking that February will be at least 0.5% rate hike, if not 0.75, if not 1%, if not more than 1%, because this inflation, mark my words, will be worse by February. It will be worse. And, well, that's my opinion. And I'm confident in that it'll be worse. It won't have gone down. And they'll be thinking, man, this inflation is stubborn and it's worse. And if we don't do something, and we've got to do something, and the brakes didn't go on hard enough, obviously, and they will do another rate hike, and then it will be, oh, we have to do another one, and 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 these rate hikes are going to be painful. They're going to be painful. So, what do you think? Do you guys feel prepared? Thank you for liking my videos and subscribing. It really, honestly, it means so much to me that you guys do that. And I know, asking a lot to ask you to do these things, but it just takes 2 seconds. So I just honestly would appreciate it so much, because, you've got to get these channels moving to grow an audience. And the only way to do that is liking and subscribing. So yeah, I hope you guys are having a good week, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace.